Okay, so we finally heard some feedback in regards to Season 3 of Tekken, which is good. There's a lot of bugs in the game. Stuff is a little wild at times and needs to still be toned down. There's still a ton of problems within this game. So as of recording, the patch is about a little over an hour from dropping. I was planning to do something else, but then I saw this, and I assume the game is going to go offline very soon. So I'm just going to go through this real quick. So 7 p.m. PDT. For me, this is I'm in Eastern time. So this is 10 p.m. for me. So the patch should drop here. It's about 8:40 right now, so about an hour and 20 minutes. We plan to release an emergency patch focused on fixing the critical bugs and unintended behaviors. Okay, that's good. Patch notes will be published at the same time as the update release. Okay, so we're not going to see anything until the thing comes out, which is fine. I'll be around. I'll kind of go into it when it gets here. So the bugs that I can think of that are currently in the game, at least the ones that I've seen, are like Feng Wei's infinite heat smash, which if you haven't seen is completely ridiculous. And then Heihachi's new move, he can also, there's a fully charged version and he can repeatedly loop the fully charged version without charging it. And there's not a lot of options to stop him. They're saying that version 3.00. So the update after the one tonight is scheduled for mid-April, which is good. So we're looking at, a couple weeks probably. And then the next bigger update is actually scheduled for late spring. This one is mildly concerning. I misunderstood, but I was under the impression we were going to get more regular updates, even if they're minor. Late spring to me means June. So we're looking at, as of right now, over 2 months of waiting. That's kind of a disappointment, seeing about the outcry of it, but maybe if they intend for it to be a bigger patch, that could be good. But I would actually be more interested in seeing multiple smaller patches and they take their time, maybe not take their time with it, but show like, hey, we're working on stuff. I don't think that them staying dark for long periods of time is going to be healthy. But I would imagine this is probably going to come out with Kunimitsu if I was a betting man, which in this case I probably will be. We are currently reviewing priorities while considering fixes for bugs, adjustments to behaviors that result in excessive rewards, and performance tuning centered around the heat system. Fixes that can be addressed in both short term will be implemented sequentially, while changes with significant impact will be introduced step by step through each update after sufficient verification. Now, what exactly do they consider a significant impact? I don't really know what they're trying to say here. Significant impact to what? Like big nerfs for characters? Is this system changes? Is this big nerfs? Because currently, like, the state of the game is just still too much. I think we could really benefit from some sort of movement buff, but they've already said they don't really want to do that. If they're not going to do that, I think they should prioritize making sure that like strings don't realign once they start. They just like go forward like an asshole, basically. And there are some strings in the game that do this, but they should all do this. I don't think characters should be turning around in the middle of strings. Further details and exact release timing will be announced once finalized. Okay, well, that is fair. And then they're talking about the Tekken feedback portal, which if you haven't seen, is basically a public Discord that they have shown where people are basically going through and reporting things. It's a public system where they could say this will be a good change or this will be a bad change. And I'm curious to see how they take it. I think the dev portal on paper is a good idea, but there's like potential risk for somebody putting in something stupid in there and then the devs thinking it's a good idea. I generally kind of disagree with the community trying to balance the game. For bugs, that's one thing. So adjustments to the battle system and character performance are being made based on a comprehensive evaluation, including submission forms to the portal. What adjustments to the battle system are they referring to? So like pure system mechanics? Because if it were me and they don't want to reduce the strength of heat, I think they should make heat a meter that does not appear every single round of the game. I understand that a lot of people don't want to see meter management in Tekken, and I completely get that, but I feel like the heat mechanic would be less frustrating if it just happened less often. I also think we should probably do something else with Rage. Maybe not something like ridiculously powerful, but powerful enough that it gets used. Just so, Rage Art isn't on the table every single round. The nice thing about Tekken 7 with Rage Drive is because Rage Drive was such an integral part of making a comeback in the game, we actually didn't see rage arts that often. So there was a lot less downtime on cinematics and a lot more playing the game, which I actually think was cool, even though Rage Drive was also kind of like dumb in some ways, but I highly prefer Rage Drive to the way Heat Smash works, because you can Heat Smash and still Rage Art. There's just too much available all the time. And then there's to consider, if you do make Heat a meter that you have to build back up, and maybe you only get it 2 times in a game as opposed to 4 to 5. In response to large numbers of requests regarding the game, we introduced a new category that allows users to submit requests related to the battle and system. We are planning to introduce channels with the official Discord server where players can discuss submitted requests with each other. We will provide further updates once preparations are complete. So it sounds like there's going to be like, people will present ideas, and then a thread will be opened for people to discuss, is this idea good or bad? This could be a very healthy way to discuss Tekken, as long as there aren't too many shitheads in here and everybody's in it for the good of the game. I'm super open to the idea of people disagreeing with the heat mechanic being a meter that you have to build. I don't think that's inherently the only option moving forward, but I don't know how you reduce its potency. You either nerf everything with it, or you need to reduce the amount of times it can happen. I think this could be a good thing. I think this could also be a bad thing, that someone could say something that sounds good on paper, but when it actually gets to players' hands, it's just not fun. We are aware that there are requests for individual feedback from the development team regarding submitted reports. However, at this time, we are prioritizing improvements to the gameplay experience and focusing our efforts on fixes and adjustments. We will continue to review how to address this moving forward. So they aren't really responding in the Discord, is basically what this is saying. Like, people are submitting things and they're not getting anything back. And I kind of, on one hand, I understand that the devs like have a job to do in regards to like having the game in front of them and making adjustments. I don't even know what they could say with reports, because if are they going to just be like, this change that you have suggested will be in the next Tekken update? Like, I don't really know what's an appropriate way for them to go about handling this. Like, fucking, you say, hello, Horong is too strong, and then Michael Murray just gives you a fucking thumbs up. Like, I really don't know what the expectation is here. It would be nice to get something, or just like something to perhaps acknowledge, like, hey, like, you have been seen. So I think that the update tonight is going to be very nothing. We're going to check it out anyway. I think just the issue with the game right now is, Tekken 8 is sadly just not really they're taking some steps in the right direction, which isn't even like good enough anymore. There's so much distrust with the players and the devs that we don't need steps in the right direction. We need fucking leaps in the right direction. And if there's any steps backwards, there better be like a maximum of like 3. Assuming that one leap forward is like 20 steps, there better only be 3 steps backwards, where it's like, maybe this wasn't a good idea. I don't know. I really just don't know what to make of this. But like I said, we'll check it out. This is probably going to be a super nothing update, but we'll see. Okay, so the patch notes are finally here. It's kind of what I expected. Everything in here is just bug fixes. Fang can no longer infinitely do Heat Smash. Heihachi should have to charge his charge move. Jack 8 is getting that weird combo from his jump taken away. I actually didn't even know about King or Leo's changes. So fix an issue when transitioning into Jaguar Sprint on block. It was not possible to perform reverse special bomb. With Leo, fix an issue where Heat Burst and Heat Smash could not be performed using the Heat Burst and Heat Smash button. Okay. I'll come back to the Lydia one. For Steve, fix an issue where certain moves would fail to execute depending on the timing of the command input. This is during Flicker stance. And then Lydia, if you actually didn't see it, so if she won the round after a KO while in Heaven and Earth level 3, the like particle effects would just kind of go wild on screen. I'm not going to show it because it's kind of just a bunch of bullshit, but I'm sure just look up Lydia Season 3 bug and you'll find it. It's kind of funny. They didn't really say anything other than that. They're just kind of reiterating some of the things. The patch that we're actually going to be looking for is going to be the version 3.00.02 in mid-April. So we're looking at probably 2 to 3 weeks for that. But for now, this is the game we have. I just kind of wish there was more communication, and I hope they're steadily working to make things. I don't have high hopes for this update, just because it's coming out so soon. But I'd like to be surprised, but I'm not going to get my hopes up. Hopefully, the April update, I assume, with Kunimitsu, hopefully this will be a good patch, but only time will tell. But thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll get back to it. The game's offline right now, so I couldn't really do what I was planning tonight, but I figured this would have to suffice, and we'll be back in a couple days.